Hello! So you're looking for a great dog trainer here in Providence. You already know that it's about more than just sit and stay. It's really about building an amazing life together in this awesome city. Let's get into how you can find the perfect professional for you and your best friend. Life in Providence is unique. One minute you're walking past all those bustling outdoor cafes on Federal Hill, the next you're at India Point Park trying to enjoy a nice day. Our goal here is to give you the tools you need so your dog can handle all of that and more with total confidence. So here's what we've got on tap. We'll kick things off with what training looks like specifically for city life in Providence. Then we'll get into the different methods and program formats you'll see. After that, we'll talk about how to check out a trainer, get a handle on the costs, and wrap up with some key local rules and resources. All right, first up, training for city life. Let's look at why Providence has its own special vibe and how that really shapes what your dog needs to learn. Just think about one of your daily walks for a second. Your dog has to be cool with the ripped bus rumbling past, or stay calm while you're trying to navigate a crowded sidewalk on the east side. A really good trainer gets these city-specific challenges and builds a training plan that actually addresses them. Okay, next, let's get into the nitty-gritty of methods and program formats. We're going to cover the different training styles and how the programs are structured so you can find a perfect match for your dog. You're going to hear this term a lot, and for good reason. Positive reinforcement is really the heart of modern, effective dog training. Instead of punishing what you don't want, you're rewarding the good stuff you do want. This does more than just teach commands. It actually builds a foundation of trust, which is everything when you're dealing with city life. So, how does this training actually happen? You've got options, and you'll want to ask yourself, what kind of setup is going to work best for my dog's personality and what we're trying to achieve? Let's look at the two most common choices. On one hand, you have group classes. These are awesome for getting your dog to practice focusing around other dogs and people. Plus, they're usually easier on the wallet. On the other hand, private lessons give you that one-on-one attention to really zero in on specific issues, like maybe barking in your apartment or getting nervous on your daily walk. And beyond those, you've got some other formats too. Board and Train is like a deep dive immersion program for your dog. Day training is a nice middle ground. And if you're dealing with tougher challenges like serious fear or reactivity, a specialized behavior consult is probably what you need. Okay, so you have an idea of the method and format you're looking for. Now comes a really, really important part, vetting your trainer. Let's break down how you can spot a real pro from the rest. Here's a pretty simple 3-step plan to follow. First, look for solid credentials. We'll talk about what those are in a second. Second, make sure you're on the same page with their philosophy. You want to hear them talking about positive reinforcement. And third, show up to your chat with them prepared with some good questions. I know, it's an alphabet soup, right? But credentials like CPDTK or KPA-CTP are a big deal. They mean a trainer has actually passed tough exams and has to keep up with their education. And for more complex issues like aggression or anxiety, something like a CBCCKA tells you they have specialized knowledge in that area. And here are the kinds of questions you should be asking. Don't feel weird about it. A true professional will be happy to talk about their methods, how they'll make the training work for life in Providence, and how you'll both know you're making progress. And definitely ask how they work with vets if you have bigger behavior concerns. All right, let's talk about a practical but, essential topic, the cost. Let's get a clear picture of what you can expect to invest in your dog's training right here in the Providence area. So here's a general breakdown of what things cost in 2025. As you can see, a set of group classes might be a few $100, while something like a board and train program is a much bigger financial commitment. This should help you kind of match your budget to the type of training that feels right. Just to make that a little more real, a single private lesson where the trainer comes to you for about an hour or so is probably going to fall somewhere in this range. For a lot of people, this is a great way to get started on a really specific issue. And hey, here's a little Providence pro tip. Always ask about travel fees. Depending on where you live, whether it's Fox Point, Mount Hope, or anywhere else, some trainers might add a small fee for their time and parking. It's just good to know all the costs up front so there are no surprises. Okay, in our last section here, let's talk about local rules and resources. This is where all that training you're doing hits the pavement. You got to know the laws and the best spots to practice your dog's new skills. These are pretty much the non-negotiables. Providence has a clear 6-foot leash law everywhere in public. Your dog has to be licensed with the city, and rabies vaccines are required by state law. And of course, if you live in an apartment, keeping an eye on barking is huge. Good training can really help keep the peace with your neighbors. You can really use our whole city as your classroom. That long, straight path on Blackstone Boulevard, it's perfect for practicing loose leash walking. Roger Williams Park has so many different spots to work on general commands. India Point is a great place to work on handling crowds. And of course, the dog park at Nutakanakart is the spot for safely practicing coming back when called. So as we wrap this up, let's circle back to the whole point of this. What does that ideal life with your dog in Providence actually look like in your mind? Is it sipping a coffee on Thayer Street while your dog just chills by your feet? Is it just having a peaceful walk through your own neighborhood? Knowing your personal why makes this whole process so much more rewarding. Because that's what this is all for, right? It's about building a partnership that lets both of you actually enjoy everything Providence has to give, from the historic streets to the great parks. The work you put in now really does pay off in 1,000 little, happy, stress-free moments down the road. We really wish you the best of luck in your search. Finding that right person to guide you is the first and biggest step. The right training is going to open up a whole new world for you and your dog to get out there and enjoy this amazing city together.